Let's kick things off with the big question a lot of people are asking. What's the real estate market actually like in Athens right now? There's a lot of national noise, but we want to focus right here at home.
Yeah, great place to start. So here in Athens, we're seeing a much more balanced market than we had a year or two ago. Prices aren't shooting up the way they were in 2021 or 2022. They're steady with most starter homes landing somewhere between $200,000 and $240,000.
That's interesting. I remember when anything under $220,000 was gone in 48 hours.
Exactly, and that's changed. Homes are still moving, but buyers have a little more breathing room now. Instead of 10 offers on day one, we're seeing maybe two or three after a few days on market.
So, would you call it a buyer's market or still leaning towards sellers?
It's in that in-between zone, a neutral market. Sellers who price right are still getting strong interest, but buyers actually have some leverage, especially if they come in pre-approved and ready to go.
That's good news for first time buyers. And what about interest rates? People are always asking, should I wait for rates to drop?
I hear that daily. My take, if you find the right house and you're financially ready, go for it. You can always refinance later if rates drop. Waiting too long might just mean paying more if prices inch back up or inventory shrinks again.
Right? And here in Athens, inventory is still fairly tight, even if it's improved a little.
Totally. We're seeing more listings than we had a year ago, but good homes, ones that are move-in ready and priced fairly, still don't sit on the market for long.
So, to sum it up, stable prices, slightly more inventory, and a better shot for buyers to make a thoughtful decision. That's a big shift from the frenzy of a couple years ago.
Exactly. It's still competitive, but manageable, especially with the right guidance.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about something that comes up in every conversation I have with first time buyers. What should I actually be doing to get ready? Brad, you've walked a lot of people through this. What's the very first thing someone should do once they decide they're ready to think about buying?
Without a doubt, talk to a lender and get pre-approved. It's step one, always. A lot of folks think, well, I'll just browse Zillow for a few weeks and then figure out the money part. But in today's market, you've got to know what you can afford before you even step into a house.
And not just for budgeting, it affects how seriously sellers take your offer, right?
Exactly. If two buyers walk in with similar offers, but only one has a pre-approval letter, the seller's going with the sure thing every time. It's also peace of mind for the buyer, because the last thing you want is to fall in love with a $250,000 home when your actual budget tops out at $210,000.
Right. It saves everyone a lot of heartache.
And I'll add this too. Don't just stop at one lender. A lot of people don't realize you can shop around. Different lenders offer different programs and rates, especially for first-time buyers. It could save you thousands over the life of your loan.
That's such an overlooked step. Okay, so let's say someone gets pre approved. What's next?
Next is building your team, your agent, your lender, possibly a financial advisor, and also start thinking long-term. Ask yourself, am I buying a 3-year home or a 10-year home? That changes what you look for. You might not need the giant backyard if you're only staying a few years, but you will care about resale potential.
Absolutely. And then there's the budgeting piece. We talk a lot about down payments, but what else should buyers expect?
So the down payment's just one part. You also have closing costs, which can be another 2 to 5% of the purchase price. Then you've got home inspections, appraisals, moving costs, maybe some furniture. And don't forget, once you own the home, you're responsible for repairs. So I always tell clients to keep a cushion of at least a few $1,000s, even after closing.
That's such a good point because a new HVAC unit in July isn't something you want to finance on your credit card.
Laughs, exactly. And I've had clients who bought at the very top of their budget and then had nothing left when they moved in. It's stressful. So leave some room in your budget. You want to enjoy your home, not feel trapped by it.
And all of that is stuff a good agent will walk you through, right?
Definitely. It's not just about showing houses. We help people plan from the pre-approval to the inspection to the final walkthrough. If it feels overwhelming, that's totally normal. But that's why we're here.
So now that we've covered the finances and the prep, let's talk about the fun part, where to buy. Athens might not be a huge city, but there are some really distinct areas depending on what you're looking for. Brad, where do you usually recommend first time buyers start their search?
Honestly, it depends on their priorities. But for a lot of first-time buyers, I always point them to downtown Athens first. It's got that small-town charm, brick sidewalks, historic homes, walkability to shops and restaurants. Some of the homes are older and may need a little updating, but if someone's open to putting in a little sweat equity, there's real value there.
Totally agree. You get character and convenience in one package.
Yep, and the vibe is great if you like being close to events, farmers markets, things like that. Now, if someone wants something newer, say move-in ready with modern layouts and minimal upkeep, East Athens is a solid bet. You'll find newer subdivisions, homes built within the last 10 to 15 years, and more uniform pricing.
That's a good spot for people who want predictability, modern kitchens, attached garages, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Then you've got the outskirts, just outside the city limits. You can stretch your dollar a bit more out there. A $220,000 home in town might be $190,000 just 10 minutes out, and you're likely to get more yard, more space between houses, and maybe even a little bit of land.
The trade off is commuting and fewer amenities nearby, right?
Right. No Uber Eats, and you might be on a well or septic system. But for a lot of folks, that's a worthwhile trade, especially if you've got pets, kids, or just want peace and quiet.
Any neighborhoods or developments we should keep an eye on?
There's some buzz around the North City area, a mix of older homes and a few infill builds. Also, a couple of newer developments out by Highway 30 are starting to take off. Prices are still accessible, but I wouldn't be surprised if they climb over the next year or two.
So, this is where that local knowledge really matters, right? Because Zillow doesn't tell you which side of the street gets morning sun or which neighborhood just got fiber internet.
Exactly. Things like school zoning, future development plans, even which areas flood after heavy rain. You only know that by being local or asking someone who is.
Love it. So, bottom line, it's not just about what the house looks like, it's where it is, what it's near, and how it fits your lifestyle.
Couldn't have said it better.
All right, we've covered a lot today, prepping to buy, what the market looks like, and where to look in Athens. Before we wrap, Brad, I'd love to get your top 3 tips for anyone buying their first home in 2025, especially here in Athens.
Absolutely. Here's what I always tell my clients, and these apply whether you're ready to buy tomorrow or still a year out. Tip 1, start early. Even if you're not ready to buy yet, don't wait until you're ready to start learning. Talk to a lender early, check your credit, and figure out your realistic timeline. Even 6 to 12 months in advance isn't too early. I've worked with buyers who thought they needed a year and were ready in 3 months, and others who thought they were ready but needed more time. Planning makes all the difference.
And that gives you time to save, clean up credit, or just get comfortable with the process.
Exactly. Tip 2, don't just click, work with a local expert. Real talk, websites are great, but they don't know Athens. A local agent knows what areas are growing, what listings have issues, and which lenders are best for your situation. You don't want to rely on a chatbot or a national call center when you're making a 6-figure decision.
Amen to that. You want someone who's walked those neighborhoods, not just Googled them.
Tip 3, leave room in your budget for life. Buying a home isn't just about what you can afford. It's about what you can live with comfortably. If you max out your budget and can't afford furniture, repairs, or even a dinner out once in a while, that's not winning. Leave room in your budget for the unexpected, especially in that first year.
So true. Homeownership should bring stability, not stress. Solid advice, Brad. That's the kind of guidance buyers really need. Practical, local, and real.
Glad to share. Helping first-time buyers is one of my favorite parts of this job.
Same here. And hey, if you're listening and this helped you feel even 10% more confident about buying your first home in Athens, that's what we're here for. Love it. Big thanks to Bradley Meyer for joining us. If you're thinking about buying in Athens, or if you're a local business wanting a podcast just like this, get in touch at bradley.meyer@transactionalrealty.com.